Hey everyone, and welcome to Shmindle Shmumlimited, the podcast for reviews, rants, and ramblings about books from our favorite way to get books, the Kindle Unlimited universe. I'm one of your hosts, Amity.
And I'm Lauren.
And I'm Steph. And this week we read the very popular, soon-to-be movie, Housemaid by Freida McFadden, which is climbing the charts. It has 3 in the series. I think all 3 are out. I have not read the second one, but we'll be putting it on my list. But before we get into this book, how's your week been? Are you guys reading anything? What's going on?
I can't remember what I've been reading, but packing to go on my Northern Lights adventure.
Ooh.
So jealous.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you. We'll have to, you're bringing your Kindle, obviously.
Right. And I found a book that it's Iceland, which I'm not going to, but it has like Northern Lights in the book cover. So I'm going to read that on the plane, I think.
How long is the
perfect.
plane ride?
It's like 9 hours, 10 hours there, 11 on the way back.
Oh, you can read definitely lots of books.
Yeah, well, it's a red eye on the way there, so I'm gonna be a crabby crab.
Can you sleep on planes?
Not very well. I did get the face mask that you hook your head up to the seat, so hopefully that will be helpful.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We need a picture of this hooking up to
Absolutely.
the seats head mask.
Yeah, one for each of us. And I made it so we had the seats where it was only 2 seats next to each other.
Okay.
So we don't have a straggler by us.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice. Very nice. I also was flying. I was flying when I read The Housemaid, actually. So it was a daylight flight, which is good. I don't know that I could have gone into the airplane bathroom after having read this on a nighttime flight. But it was a daytime flight and read the whole thing between Arizona and back to North Carolina. And then I needed a palate cleanser. So Amazon prompted me to download The Design, which if you remember way back in episode 1, we read The Duet by R.S. Gray. And so book 2 came out, The Design. Brooklyn was the character in The Duet. Her little sister Cammie or Cameron and her friend Grayson were the topic of this book. It was good. It was
nice.
It was the, quick, how it's going to end when it starts, but you don't know how they get there book that I eat up and enjoy. So I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. Different vibe than The Housemaid, which is much more aligned with what I like. Before we get into The Housemaid, though, Steph, what have you been reading or consuming?
No, I haven't read. It's that time of year where I feel like teaching is starting to get exhausting. Luckily I get a break in 2 weeks, or a week and a day. So I'll get to be reading on the beach, hopefully.
Nice.
Oh, darn.
I know. So I just come home, I'm reading and then I'll tutor after school and then potentially go to the gym. And then I come home, throw on some Netflix and just pass out by 8:30. TJ's been getting upset because we're currently watching The Recruit and I keep falling asleep during it.
Oh yeah, the second season came out.
The second season came out, yeah. So
I need to rewatch the first season.
No. They give you a recap. But it's not that the show's bad or it's boring or anything. It's just I'm so exhausted that I've been falling asleep. So,
I did that watching Ted Lasso, a literal perfect television show.
Yeah.
But if you catch me on the right night or when I was working in education every night, 10 minutes in, that's all I got.
Yeah, exactly.
We can start again tomorrow after 9:59 in, but
yeah. And Bentley will come cuddle with me and he's kind of like a person where he snuggles up and you just scoop your arms underneath him and so
oh, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah,
now.
It's like a giant
weighted body pillow.
Yeah, exactly. So but I'm getting a week off, so I have a bunch of books. I have the second one of this book downloaded. So I have a bunch of books that I'm ready to read.
Whether it happens
or not, we'll see. I'm just getting started. I just need to do it.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna get into this book, The Housemaid.
Before we get into this book, I want to give a preemptive potential apology to our listeners. This book is creepy. It's creepy. and I edit the podcast, and I am not going to edit and listen back to the rest of this. We're going to have this conversation one time. I am not editing unless something crazy happens. I suppose I'll go find it
You
in the
will
audio.
not subject her
There's
to the trauma
the
a
third
second
time.
Yes, the
Third
third
time.
time.
After reading it, doing it,
And
then
reviewing it. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm already freaking out. So
It wasn't-
apologies in advance if there's some weird soundy stuff and I don't know it and just publish the episode. I guess
is.
bonus points if you find it, you know?
there you go.
I will say it wasn't as creepy as I thought it was going to be based on Amity's initial reaction.
I was thinking like Colleen Hoover, Verity, like creepy stuff like that, but it wasn't.
Which I still haven't read that book. I haven't jumped on the Colleen Hoover bandwagon yet.
Yes, that's
I don't recommend it, but
Did you read Verity?
yes.
Oh,
I think I paid money for Verity.
yes, because it's
Whoa.
not on Kindle Unlimited.
Whoa.
Yeah, like we read it as a book club book. And I
You
was like,
paid
hey,
for that
everybody. I like didn't even
That
want
one's
to
traumatizing.
host. It was when we were meeting at my house, and I didn't even want to host the book club because I didn't want to talk about it.
Sorry, it's canceled.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, I actually was not expecting this, but when I was reading this, I was so engaged the entire time.
It was quick and sharp and
yeah.
So the setting is in Long Island. The prologue, it starts with one of the main characters, unclear, being questioned by the police while there is a dead body in the attic upstairs. And then jump to part one. And we meet a main character, Millie, full name Wilhelmina Calloway. And she's kind of down on her luck, living out of her car, can't find a new job. She was in prison for 10 years from the age of 17 to 27.
Which I didn't really think they could put. I thought like, but I guess I don't know.
I was an adult.
Yeah.
And Millie goes and interviews for a maid position at Nina Winchester's house, which like Nina seems very, very nice. However, she's got this really creepy child named Cecilia, like just odd vibes, but she is desperate. And it comes with a room to live in, which happens to be this teeny tiny attic bedroom that the window is painted shut and there's no air conditioning and it's very, very hot.
There's a little refrigerator though with three waters.
Small water bottles and this little cot. Anyway, so she gets a job.
Which is weird for her because she was in jail for 10 years and she can't even get a job at Munchie's Burgers.
Oh, poor thing.
So she's like, there's no way this lady did a background check, but.
And while she's interviewing, like the house is pristine.
Yes.
Like she's like, why do you need a maid? But then she gets there for her first day of work and the place is an absolute disaster.
This is gross.
Yes. And there's Enzo, the Italian landscaper that like speaks no English and says the word you have an Italian
I know
mother.
what this word is, but it basically means dangerous.
Pericolo, and it means danger. Trying to like scare her off from taking the job, which she already has the job.
Yeah, and she's like, it's better than sleeping in my car.
Yeah. And while she's there for the first day, like she gets and cleans everything, and then Andrew is Nina's husband, shows up from work. Nina gets jealous even though they like have a normal interaction together.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
Yeah, Nina's just acting a little weird now.
Yeah.
And also the attic has a lock on the outside of the room only. So setting us up for some
we know
we had questions already.
Yeah, exactly. But Andrew's really nice. You know, he's very welcoming, appreciative of Millie coming in.
Mm-hmm. Like she makes dinner and
yes, and he says how good it is and stuff like that. So Millie is asleep for the first time, and she wakes up in the middle of the night, and she's like, "Let me go out, get out of here." And so she goes, and the door's locked, and she's like, "What?"
And then she was actually able to turn the door and go.
Yeah, but then it opened. So it was very strange. She can't remember if it's a dream or what's going on.
Then we start getting all of these very odd interactions with Millie, Cecilia, Nina. For example, Millie makes Cecilia a snack after school one day. So it's like peanut butter, banana, and crackers. And then Cecilia is like, oh, I'm allergic to peanuts. And this kid like loses it. And Nina comes in like, I told you, you should, or what are you doing? Never do this again. I told you this. And Nina never told her.
Yeah, Millie's like, I do not remember you telling me this.
And then another instance was Nina accuses Millie of throwing away her PTA notes, which she didn't. And Nina then just starts throwing food all over the ground.
And makes Millie clean it all up.
And then Andrew seems so nice. And she's questioning, like, why is he still with Nina?
So I wanna ask a question about the peanuts thing.
Yes.
Knowing the whole story, do we think Nina intentionally did not tell Millie about the peanut allergy? Or that it was a genuine mistake?
I think it was a genuine mistake.
Because I don't think she would put her daughter at risk.
Yeah.
So I think that might have been an oversight on Nina's part.
That just like worked out nicely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or was she that desperate to get out to like...
No, I think it was a genuine, like, I think there was so much going on in her, like, plan that I think that. Also, a little side note, Cecilia is not Andrew's daughter.
Yes. So sorry.
Yeah.
Nina and Andrew met after when Cecilia was like 5 months old, I think.
Yes.
We find out later in the story. So then we get, some more odd things.
Just like one thing after the next.
I know Nina calls Millie like frantic, I need you to pick up Cecilia 15 minutes before school gets out, and like tells her the wrong name of the school. And then Millie gets there and other moms are like, or I think moms are like, oh, Nina's crazy, like actually crazy. She was in the psychiatric hospital multiple times.
And it's funny because
we're trying to kill her daughter.
Feels bad for her.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, like maybe I just need to like I'm working for a crazy person, basically.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. Okay, so Amity and Lauren, at what point would you guys quit?
Day one. But
I guess
I'm not desperate enough to give the answer as if I was in Millie's shoes. So
the minute the lock was outside the door.
Oh, the second you show me an attic room, bye.
Right, like, and one on the list of things that I was like, ugh, this story's hard. Millie, get a screwdriver. Change the lock yourself. What are you doing?
Thank you.
Like, this is not her house, though. Like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable like changing the lock on somebody else's house. I would like
holding their underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was like hesitant to even ask about like the window.
True. I guess what frame of mind would you be in if you just got out of jail and like you've never been an adult in the real world?
Yeah, so maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went at 17.
True. Let's see. Then Millie's cleaning the master bath and like finds all of these pills, including Haldol, in the medicine cabinet, which is like a nice antipsychotic.
Okay, as she's cleaning the master bathroom, the stuff that Nina is doing to her, like leaving her tampons.
Use tampons.
I know.
Oh, like I would feel so bad if I were someone knowingly. Which
I do not think I could pick it up. I don't think so. I think that would be it. The used tampon on the counter. I'm out.
I have wiped a lot of adult butts, so
the used tampon would be okay for Lauren.
Yeah, nothing. I don't even know what it would take for me to like gag or like.
I'd be like,
maybe like maggots growing out of a foot.
Yeah.
That one really. That was it.
So Millie's meeting with her parole officer, and she talks about why she was fired from her waitressing job.
She doesn't tell her.
Oh no,
she does not tell the parole officer that she was fired.
Did she tell her about the new job?
Yeah, she told her about the new job, but fails to mention that she was kicked out of her apartment, fired from her waitressing job, and the old employer agreed not to go to the police. So we don't know at this point like what happened. So Millie's on thin ice.
Yeah. Millie's just doing whatever she can to survive at this.
Then at like 1 a.m, I'm gonna go downstairs, get some water. She turns on Family Feud, and then Andrew comes down for water, and they get distracted, like watching the show. Nina comes down and then like sends Andrew to bed like he's a child.
Yeah, and then she's like really mean to Millie.
Like clean this place up at the sties. There's like Andrew's water that he left. And then Millie gets so pissed she throws the water glass on the ground. I was like, ugh. Then we have the PTA meeting. Of course, Nina makes a absolute disaster of the house again. So she has to clean it before all of the super cruel PTA ladies.
And Millie has to cook for them too.
Yes. This is at the point where we learn that Nina was in the psychiatric hospital. Her and Andrew have like this airtight prenup, and Andrew never adopted Cecilia.
And then this is the part where like Nina's kind of starting to let herself go. Like she's not getting her hair done.
I know, she's got the roots, and she's just roots. Shoveling food into her mouth.
Yes.
And she's gave Millie clothes that don't fit her.
Yes.
And something we should mention about the clothes is like she's always in white, as is Cecilia, in these just bizarre dresses like a doll would be in.
Yeah. And then we find out that Nina and Andrew are trying for a baby, so they're meeting with a fertility specialist. Millie is watching her favorite person, Cecilia, who is not the nicest.
No. Like throws a sandwich on the ground that Millie made for her as Nina and Andrew walk back into the house from their fertility appointment, which did not go well.
Yeah. Andrew tells Millie that Nina can't get pregnant. Millie goes to bed, and that night she wakes up and Nina and Andrew are fighting, and they're super loud.
She hears like a crash, goes down there, and then Nina comes out and she's bleeding, and Millie is afraid like that she hurt Andrew, but then she like hears him in there. But Nina threatens to fire Millie and tells her never to come back down from the attic at night ever again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this scene was my favorite. So Enzo comes, and Enzo's like a cute landscaper, and he's delivering a box, and Millie's like, basically like, I haven't been laid in 10 years. Let me get with the Italian landscaper. And he's like, no.
He again tells her to get out and that it's dangerous.
Yeah. And she's like, oh. And she's like so embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes to tap dancing class, and she hears the more of the gossip from the moms, and then finds out that Nina was in the psychiatric hospital because she tried to drown her own daughter
when she was a baby.
When she was a
baby,
she
took a bunch of pills.
Yeah. So, so the box is filled with baby stuff from Andrew's mom, and
terrible timing.
Yes, and then so.
There started like possibly a little sexual tension there between Millie and Andrew.
Yes.
Such weird time sexual tension.
Andrew's like so nice to her though.
Like green flags all around, guys. Then, he asks Millie to book Broadway tickets so he can take Nina because of, the fertility issue.
He kind of wanted to take her to her favorite show, like rekindle everything. And
so Nina tells her, oh yeah, book it for this day, a week from Sunday. So then like 2 days beforehand, she's like, oh, here are the tickets. And he's like, no, next Sunday.
She's like I told you 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, like I have plans.
I have to bring Cecilia to summer
camp, and then threatens to take the price of the tickets out of Millie's paycheck. And like these tickets would be multiple paychecks. Andrew says that, oh, I got the tickets refunded. And then Nina leaves, takes Cecilia to camp. Once they leave, Andrew tells Millie, hey, I couldn't actually get those refunded. Like, why don't you go and take a friend? But she has no friends.
So she takes Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew's like, no, we'll go together.
Yeah.
So they go to the Broadway show. Afterward, they go to dinner at a French restaurant. They
have some wine.
A lot of wine. 2 bottles of wine.
The truth starts spewing out of Andrew, and that about him and Nina. They haven't had sex because of the fertility issues. And then they end up kissing in a cab, and then they go to the Plaza Hotel.
And they do not get separate rooms like they had planned.
Yeah.
Oh.
Andrew's not sorry for what they did, but it can't happen again. So they then drive back the next day, and Millie's like, oh no, I didn't take out the garbage like Nina texted and told me to. So they basically convince Enzo and he like throw the garbage in his truck.
And he takes it out.
Hmm.
Andrew like gets like really upset with Enzo for some weird reason, or he's just like, why is he always at our house? Like he's
Every day.
Yeah,
He's like, I told Nina to fire him.
yeah, he's the landscaper for the entire house in the neighborhood, and so and he's like, but he's always at our house.
Yeah. Nina comes back and then questions Millie like, hey, I called at 11 p.m. last night and no one answered the phone. And Millie like, oh, I was already in bed. So I'm just trying to play it off. And then we get a scene where Nina is complimenting Millie's cooking and says, you never got food like this in prison.
So Nina does know
So that bomb dropped.
in front of everybody too. Like,
well, it was
Andrew was there.
Andrew,
so,
Nina,
yeah.
and Millie.
Yeah.
And then Millie finds the playbill from the show on her nightstand that she definitely had in her purse. So Nina went through her things, and Millie's like, well, shit, she knows exactly what
happened.
Who knows? Yeah. Then we get Nina making Millie's life hell again.
She tries to get her arrested for shoplifting
At the grocery store.
At the grocery store. So Millie's like unable to sleep because she has this crazy boss who's trying to throw her back in the slammer and makes her clean up her used tampons. So she's finds Andrew outside drinking a beer. Of course they kiss.
Naturally. And Nina's just lurking in the dark.
So creepy. And then Millie gets home one day and Nina accuses her for stealing clothes, but Nina
gave her because she doesn't fit her anymore.
And Andrew comes to the defense of Millie.
He finally grew a pair.
Yes. And then Andrew's like, I want to be separated. I don't love you anymore. Pack up and leave. And then Andrew and Millie sleep in the guest room. And they're together.
Yeah.
Happily ever after.
Nina's gone.
Yep.
They sleep in the guest room for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And then Enzo at the house again. Andrew gets angry, ends up firing Enzo. And Enzo, in perfect English, tells Millie, you must get out of here. You are in terrible danger. And she's like, no, Nina's gone. I'm fine.
I'm with the lovely Andrew. Yeah.
Millie goes to the grocery store. Andrew is like, no, don't do anything. Just relax. You don't have to do any shopping. You don't have to clean. Just relax today. She's like, no. So she goes grocery shopping. A PTA mom stops her and is like, hey, why isn't Nina answering her phone? And Millie's like, oh, I don't know why. And PTA mom drops the bomb that Nina has been tracking Millie's phone the entire time. So, find my iPhone app.
Yeah.
Delete.
Yeah.
And then Millie gets home, Andrew gets home, they end up doing the deed in the attic. Millie falls asleep. She wakes up in the middle of the night and she is locked in.
And
that is the end of part 1. And then we jump to part 2, which is Nina's point of view.
We're like, this is where I was like,
shit. Everything we thought we knew is wrong. We go to Nina. She's in her hotel room. She's like, makes a comment. I can't believe I finally got rid of that asshole after like 8 years. And then it starts with this list of like, step 1, how to get rid of your sadistic evil husband by Nina Winchester. And I thought this was just hilarious.
I know. This was like so funny.
We learned that Nina used to work at Andrew's company and Andrew's like CEO. He was her boss's boss's boss kind of thing. Right after she had Cecilia, there's like a whole scene where she like breast milk is leaking through her shirt. Her boss freaks out. Andrew comes to like
rescue her. Yeah, he's super nice to her.
Yeah, takes her to lunch, and then jump to 3 months later, or like they've been married for 3 months. Andrew is very particular. He wants blonde hair, white clothes, and he asks Nina's help with some papers upstairs in the attic. She's like, oh, okay. And then she goes in there and he locks her in the attic and says she has to learn a lesson for letting her roots grow out.
Did you guys ever see I'm sure it's a full movie, but I've never seen it. But every once in a while, snippets of it would like appear on my TikTok because I don't know why, but they freak me out. And it was the story of that like dad who kind of kidnapped his own daughter in like this hidden
Oh, it's
room
called The Room.
in the basement.
Oh yeah, there's one that's like The Room where it's about like a girl who gets taken and is like locked in a room.
Kind of reminds me of Misery,
Um,
that movie.
and then the dad like ends up like raping her and she has kids and everything. It's awful. It's awful. It's so bad. But this scene reminded me a lot of that because in that particular movie, the reason like how he gets her down there is like, hey, help me carry this thing in. Like it was the box of the food and like blanket that he would give her to stay in. And
Wow.
this reminded me of that. It was creepy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And see, and then the next part, I was like, ugh.
This was bad. He tells her to pull out 100 strands of hair from the root
I don't even know if I could get 100.
because
Like, I guess
her,
I could,
yeah,
but
her hair is a privilege. And so she does. Um, takes
and
her like all
she has
night.
to like give it to him.
Yeah, in an
An
envelope that
envelope,
he
yeah.
left in there. Like he planned this. And then he goes, oh, one of them's missing a root the next morning. Do it all again. And he leaves for work. And then she pulls out another 100 hairs and gives him 10 extra, just in
Just to
case.
get, ew, ow, that would hurt so much.
Uh, and then he lets her out the next morning, like gives her water, food, basically like is all, very attentive now, like takes her to bed and she's basically like exhausted.
Yeah, because she's been in an attic with only three
Yeah.
cups of
Turns
like,
out he drugged her.
oh yeah.
She wakes up to water running in the bathroom. She's like, that's weird. Andy must be home. He wasn't.
Nope.
She gets to the bathroom, like crawling on hands and knees to find Cecilia about to drown. And it turns out Cecilia was also drugged. And
Can't
just
have
in the
been
nick,
that far, though. Like, because someone had to turn on the tub.
I know. I was like, the timing of this is suspicious.
Yes.
He was
But
supposed to be at work, right?
yeah. And he had like sent texts making it look like he had been trying to reach her for hours and he'd called the police, like, hey, I can't get a hold of her. And the police get there just in the nick of time as she's trying to grab Cecilia out of the tub. And then she's in a psych hospital for 8 months.
But okay, thinking about this, he just had to tell the police, oh, I was at work. I don't know if they like check for if she was there and
Yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
When you have money,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
things happen.
Yeah.
So they while she's in the psychiatric hospital, she has therapy, obviously. They diagnose her with like delusions and depression. And she basically like is convinced that she did this and
Yep.
is released on like two different medications.
Yeah, she like imagining the whole attic thing.
Yeah. So like her new therapist is like convince her to go up to the attic, kind of see that it's not a bad place. But when
That
she does, he locks her in there again for leaving the light on in their bedroom, which, before locking her in there, he boarded up the window and put in these ultra bright light bulbs. So either she was sitting in the blinding sun or in the pitch black. So another lesson because she left the light on.
you have to admit, like he was kind of creative, you know?
And he put some thought into this. I'll give him that. But so
I'm
on
giving him
average,
zero credit.
Yeah.
over the course of their marriage, on average, she was put in there like once every other month,
Mm.
it said, but there was a stretch of 6 months with nothing. And then we learned that Cecilia really has a peanut allergy, and Andrew kept it in the house, even though Nina would keep throwing it out.
Yeah.
And he would secretly put peanut butter in Cecilia's food so she would get
Oh,
itchy.
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Enzo ends up seeing Nina through an attic window and is like trying to help plan her escape.
And we learned that Enzo can speak English.
Yes, perfectly. It's easier to not speak English because then the ladies don't hit on him.
Yeah.
The Stepford wives.
So Nina and Enzo come up with a plan, and her plan is like, I need to be replaced. Like he'll never let me go. So I need to find somebody else to live in the attic so he doesn't put me in
I
there.
need to find my replacement. So she ends up finding Millie and like, oh, well, she's an ex-con. Like, this is perfect.
She's beautiful.
Her and Enzo end up blackmailing a doctor to like tell them that she's infertile.
Oh yeah, because she actually has an IUD. She's like, I'm not having this
Yeah.
guy's
Yeah,
kid.
absolutely.
So
And then Nina and Enzo meet up at the hotel room, and
after she's out, they end up doing the thing, but Enzo says, we have to tell Millie.
Like, this is not
we
fair.
can't subject someone else to this.
So
Enzo's
then we go
the true
back
hero.
to Millie.
We get part 3, Millie POV. Locked in the attic with no phone. 3 books. One, a guide to what was it? A guide to prison, something like that. The history of torture, and a phone book.
Oh yes, and this was because she's getting punished for not putting his books back. So she had to balance his books on her stomach for 3 hours.
Which he made her redo.
Oh yes, because
Which
it was
he
a
had
cold
to
reaction.
bear the weight.
Oh. And then then she finds, while she's in there, she finds something. And as she gets out, she pepper sprays Andy.
Yes.
And then guess who goes into the attic?
Andy. She locks him in there. I was like, yes, Millie is the badass I wanted her to be.
Millie gets sick. I don't mean sick like medically sick. She gets sick, like evil sick, real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. However, for righteous reasons, maybe.
I mean, like, and Andrew deserves it 100%. And
Yes.
also, that was real fast, Millie.
She got real comfortable with bad things.
Yeah, maybe that's what prison.
Yeah, she wasn't, you have to remember, she was in prison for 10 years.
And this is at the point where we now learn why she went to prison. So she actually went for murder. But she was defending her friend who was about to be raped while they were in high school. So she
she
bashed a guy's
his
head in with a.
But okay, I don't remember. Millie's home life was not a good one.
No.
Right.
Were both of her parents passed away?
No, I think they just disowned her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was at a boarding school for troubled kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was mainly her like sticking up for what was right and then getting in trouble because she did not the best way of sticking up for people.
Yeah.
So her parents like sent her off to boarding school.
I think Millie believes in the phrase "an arm for an arm."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe she's like,
It's the fuck around and find out
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like she got like so fast or she's always been like this and she kind of had to hold it in.
That's valid. That's valid.
You know, in prison, you can't let your psychopath show.
Yeah, Nina was like psychoing.
Let your freak flag fly, Nina.
Yeah.
Millie, everybody. Except for Andrew.
So then we're on Nina's point of view, and we like kind of learn that Nina basically hired Millie to kill Andrew on purpose. She left the pepper spray in there. So like she was setting this up. Like she was evil geniusing the whole time.
Just pepper spray. Like we could have
given her a couple more.
Like a knife or something.
Right.
Well, the fact that she wasn't gonna go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like left her the pepper spray. Like what?
I know.
Leave her something a little bit more
substantial.
Yeah.
But she knew that Millie had that badass in her.
She did. So Millie then, Andrew's locked in the attic and she goes, "Oh, I'll let you out, but not yet." She's using Andrew's
right.
phrase.
Like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, absolutely not. You're never leaving this.
And the book she had to balance on her stomach, he has to balance on his genitals for 3 hours. And then he finishes the 3 hours and she goes, "Oh, actually, it was 5 hours. You heard me wrong."
And he's like getting so angry at her. Like,
oh my gosh.
He's like, let me.
And there's no water in there because she already drank it all. The 3 little teeny tiny water bottles. She goes, "Well, you shouldn't have left me in there for so long. There would have been water left for you."
Oh my gosh.
Like just absolute savage. Then we go back to Nina's point of view. She's picked up Cecilia and she's like, what do you want to do? We're not going back home. Decide to go to Disneyland. But then Enzo calls her and he's like, "Hey, the attic light is on and Millie's car hasn't moved. I put like paint on her tire and it hasn't moved." So she's like, all right, fine, I'll come back. But you have to watch Cecilia
Yeah.
while I do this.
Well, and so then we go back to Millie, who's told Andrew that he needs to pull out his teeth.
With pliers. Oh boy. So Nina gets back to the house, opens the attic, and finds
Dead Andrew.
dead Andrew with several teeth missing, not just one. And then Millie's like, somehow pops back out, and she's like, oh, I left him there for a week. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, that's so crazy. How could you lose
So
track of time? Like,
I was like, what the fuck? So he died. He's dead. He's very, very dead. And Nina says to Millie, like, you need to go. Like, if you're here and you are on parole, you're going back to jail. She's like, the only chance that this turns out okay is if we blame it on me because I have a track record of going to the psych hospital.
Yeah. And she's like, I'll just go back to the psych hospital.
Yeah.
Right, no big
So
deal.
luckily, the detective that comes happened to be the father of Andrew's ex-fiance, who was never the same after they ended their
There.
relationship. He goes, well, it seems like it was an accident,
Yep.
and he just happened to get locked in there.
How fortuitous.
One investigation doesn't care about the teeth missing or the black genitals.
Yeah.
But then we get to the funeral, and this was crazy. Andrew's mom comes in and basically says
Oh yeah, about the teeth.
that she knew about the teeth missing. She goes, I'm happy you taught him a lesson. I taught him that. I made him pull out his teeth when he was little because he didn't brush them. So thank you for teaching him a lesson.
And we find out where Andrew got all of his ideas.
Mhm.
And also, like, his mom was maybe okay with the fact that he might have been murdered-ish.
Maybe. I mean,
Well, if they're ruling it like an accidental death.
yeah. I think she was psychopath number 1, Andrew psychopath number 2.
They're probably psychopath number like 5 and 6. Let's.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's passed down big time.
Ugh.
So then we jump to the epilogue, and Millie is interviewing for a new housekeeping job, and turns out Nina recommended her. Lisa, the woman who's interviewing her new potential boss, has a big bruise and basically asks Millie if she can help her. So you see where this is going next book.
Really on parole. New career as a hit woman.
Damn right.
Yeah, no, it's what's the Disney character or the I can't even think right now. It's the
I don't know that it's Disney though.
no, not
Yeah,
Disney.
that's definitely not Disney.
No, the superhero that would steal from the rich and give to the poor.
Robin Hood?
Robin Hood?
Robin Hood. Millie's the Robin Hood for all the housewives. Helping them.
But she's not stealing shit. She's killing husbands.
Yeah, stealing breath.
Yeah,
Woo!
exactly. There you go.
Very good.
She's helping housewives get their lives back.
What a servant.
Did you guys ever watch Desperate Housewives?
When I was like in college, I think.
I
Okay.
didn't watch
Like
it.
the OG ones.
The OG, like I watched this as a kid.
Yes.
I probably shouldn't have been watching it at the age I was watching it, but I did.
It was
Why not?
Yeah.
always very entertaining.
Older brother, you watch MTV at the age of like 6.
Yeah, exactly. So going around the room, are you reading the sequel?
No,
You're not gonna read the sequel?
no.
Absolutely.
I know Amity's answer is no.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like it was entertaining. I don't think I need to read another version of this.
Yes. I think I'll read it and I'll let you know.
Okay.
It is on Kindle Unlimited too, so that was nice.
I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
So favorite characters.
That last page was a real big character of mine, the final page. I could close the book.
On the book when she got to say the end.
That was Amity's favorite part.
Yeah.
A little too scary. I don't know if I had a favorite character, honestly.
Yeah. Enzo, the one that didn't speak English.
Yes, I would say Nina, second half, knowing that she evil genius this.
Yes.
First half, Nina, absolutely not.
I didn't like Millie. Like I liked her point of view.
Yeah.
I wonder if the author would do like or I'd have to read the second or third, like giving her backstory. Like I wish I knew a little bit more about her.
Millie, I don't know if there's much to know besides she killed someone and then went to jail for 10 years.
Yeah, but like the
What's her
boarding
favorite
school.
color? Yeah.
Where are
There's
her
no answer.
How
parents?
old were you when you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
All the usual
So
icebreaker questions.
questions.
Absolutely. Those are the normal ones.
No, I liked reading her point of view and
I will say I did really like the writing style.
yes.
I did enjoy the writing style.
There wasn't any point in the book where I was kind of like, okay, here we go. Like I was
Steps flipping
I was
through. Are we
flipping through
done
it. I was
here?
like, whoa. Amity was like, let me get to the end,
I
flipping through.
was. I was
It
reading
was
this
a
as fast
fast
as I
read.
possibly could. It was a faster, like it was, I don't know. It was going to be a fast read no matter what.
I was doing the summary and I'm like dreading. I'm like, oh, this is gonna take me forever. And then I'm like writing and looking like I'm already third of the way done with the book, and I've been working on this for like 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
So, themes and tropes,
Um,
Creepy.
mystery,
mystery,
dead
yeah.
husbands.
Abusive husbands,
Yeah. Um,
Second chance?
second chance.
yeah. Um,
Mistress cheating?
yeah. Not our normal tropes
No,
here,
not the
guys.
normal. There's
No.
no romance or
None. I mean, no. I am excited. I will watch the movie
okay.
with you.
Perfect. It comes
Yeah.
out at Christmas.
Okay.
We can make it a whole Christmas
Hey, guess
thing.
what? I'll have Christmas off this year.
Oh,
Oh, the
Whoa!
whole
yeah.
week between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, man, I don't even get that time. You guys can go to the movies then. I can't make it. Sorry.
Everybody has to work.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
have two
busy.
teachers again here.
Yes. Hey, we
Oh.
started with two teachers and now we're back to two teachers.
Mhm. All right. Overall rating.
Should we give
Amity.
everybody
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I had a
oh.
feeling. I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay, I think I will go with 8 because I
I
actually
knew
really
you were doing
enjoyed
that.
this book. So 15. Oh, whoa, I forgot.
You
I
can we math today?
I can't math.
It's like,
I
How
think
many
I,
teachers does it take?
I know. Oh, it's an average of a 7.
yeah.
So,
We math well, guys. Obviously,
yeah.
none of us majored in math.
So, Amity, between this and Colleen Hoover's Verity, which one do you think was worst?
Verity was longer, so I'm gonna say that was worse just because I had to
Prolonged
I
torture.
had to go through with pieces of it, not knowing how it ended, but needing to sleep.
Yes, yeah. Verity I thought was more creepy.
Well, so speaking of sleep, I may have fallen asleep a couple nights ago reading this book, and then I dreamed about it. Woke up, I mean, not woke up. I sleep talk. I can have a full ass conversation. And I said to my husband, I'm gonna miss you.
What do you remember from this dream?
I just remember like bits and pieces of like the book plot, and then I wake up the next day and Dan's like, "Do you remember what you said last night?" I'm like, "Of course not. I never remember." But I'm gonna miss you. He goes, "Where am I going?" I don't know.
Maybe we were dropping Porter off at summer camp.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Or there's an attic in my house I don't know about yet.
Hopefully it's camp. It's like the most wholesome thing I can think of to come out of the book.
Yeah. I mean, Porter's going to grandparents' camp.
Oh,
Oh, that's the
Courtney's getting
best.
Yeah.
spoiled.
Oh yeah, she's gonna go in the hot tub with grandpa, get all the
She's going on the
snacks.
boat again.
I'm sure she will. Speaking of which, I need to get the doggy life jacket out of the car.
I want to go with Porter.
She's the best life. She really does.
Well, so that
looking
is
ahead,
oh, yep.
the next book we're going to read, I'm so excited. We're reading Assistant to the Villain. I have read this already, so I am amped to. I'll probably do a reread, and I'm probably going to buy book 2. I held off. I didn't buy it right after I finished the first one, but I'm probably going to do it because I really enjoyed Assistant. No, spoiler alert, I guess already, but I really enjoyed it. So,
I'm excited. I am debating because the library has the free audiobook if I do audio.
Ooh.
Yeah.
oh,
Is this back to our regular genre?
um,
Dark romance.
it is adjacent.
Okay.
This feels, it's not, I don't know that I'd call this YA, but it's close.
Okay.
Is it
Um,
darker?
it's not, I don't think
Okay.
so. It's
All right.
closed, it's closed door. I don't actually know that we get romance. No, I can't remember.
Oh,
I gotta
Oh.
reread. I gotta do the reread.
there you go.
She chunked and dumped. She doesn't remember. She
I
remembers
did.
the vibe.
Yeah.
I do. The vibe was
Good
good.
liking.
The vibe was good. I wanted to read book 2.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And also looking forward to any other episodes and thoughts and things that you guys want to share with us. We thank you for listening to our reviews, rants, and ramblings. Remember, if you read this or any other book that we've talked about and you review it on Amazon or Goodreads, please include that Shmindle Shmumlimited sent you. And if you wouldn't mind a quick review on your podcast platform, we would be super grateful. Have a great weekish, and we can't wait to read, review, rant, and ramble about the next book with you. Bye.